the agenda that we have in front of us here. On item 8, it should read the Delta Dental renewal contract for 1 year instead of 2. And the effective July 1st, 2021 at June 30th of 2022 instead of 2023.
Okay, so we're going to amend and approve the amended form of the agenda. It's been moved by Steve.
I will
Dave,
second that.
Thank you. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Thompson.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes.
Okay, motion's been carried. Next then is our service awards. And James Fuller is busy, I think. And we have an award for him for 30 years of secondary road operator number 3. And James, we certainly appreciate all those years that you put in working there. Next one is Mary Stubbs. Mary is here.
And I get to do it.
And you get to do it. And she has been here 25 years.
Where's the things?
Assistant auditor recorder. She's our go-to gal when it comes to our budgeting.
I'd like to say she's our go-to, it was only that, but she's our go-to gal for a lot. I'm getting the certificate, so we have that.
Did they get signed?
Mary first. Yes, they're all signed.
Okay.
So, thank you. I want to present this to you for 25 years. Thank you. And everybody knows that if we don't know the answer, we get a hold of Mary. Thank you. And it has been such a pleasure to work with you and get to know you. And I feel like we're kindred spirits. We just both like accounting and we both just enjoy it. So thank you very much. If we could do one photo, we can go over there, do our mask real quick and then.
That's okay.
I want a photo for our staff. It will go nowhere, I promise. Other than maybe show up at your retirement. We don't have a horn out of our head. Thank you, Mary. We all appreciate what you do.
And we have one more. You're going to present that one?
Nope, you can do that one. She's my deputy, so it makes it a little different.
Okay.
I'll let you do Susan.
Okay. Susan Umdenstock, do I pronounce that? I always worry about people's names.
It's a tough one.
Susan has been here 5 years. And we really appreciate all your help. And it says here, certificate of appreciation, and it has your name and the 5 years of service. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, take your mask on real quick.
I wish we could have.
I've been vaccinated.
I'm halfway.
Okay.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Yes.
That'll show up at your retirement too, Susan. Neither of them want their photo in the TR, and I get it.
Okey doke.
That's not why I work here.
No, I get it.
Thanks for coming over.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to leave, that's fine. Okay, on then to the consent agenda. Item number 6, approve special session of April 12th, 21, 10 a.m. to 10:30. Approve regular session of April 13th, 2021. B is approved claims as audited and authorize the county attorney or auditor rather, and recorder to issue payment of the same. The listing of the claims paid at this meeting and all claims paid in the month of April will be published as part of the first meeting in May. Item number C is file clerk district court report, March 2021, general supplemental fund surcharge, $593.25. Item number D, or letter D, file sheriff's quarterly report, January 2021 through March 2021. General basic services fees, $10,418.19. General basic interest checking, $9.94, and general basic mileage fees, $2,351.77. Letter E then, file manure management plans, Bart Halverson, number 66700, 32857, County Highway S57, New Providence, Iowa, 4-year update, JT Farms East Site, 63208, 2348, 290th Street, Haverhill, Iowa, 2021 annual update, no changes. Aaron Borton, number 65862, 1359 at 140th Street, Clemens, Iowa, 2021 annual update, no changes. Approved transfer of funds, transfer 916, a quarterly transfer of $670,000 from Rural Services Fund to Secondary Road Fund, and transfer 917, a corrective transfer of $784,349.50 from E911 Fund to the Marshall County Communications Fund regarding check 271753, paid from the wrong fund. Chair would entertain a motion.
I'd make a
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the consent agenda as printed.
Is there a second?
And I'll
It's
second.
been moved and seconded. Any further questions? If not, roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosson,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion has been carried. Next is item number 7. We have some employee changes and new hires. First one here is Assistant County Attorney Tori Cuellar, will start May 3rd, 2021, full-time, permanent pay of $75,500, VAWA grant felony prosecutor position to fill vacancy due to Tucker moving from first assistant attorney. Chair would entertain a motion for this.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the hire of Tori Cuellar. Start 5/3 of 2021. Full-time permanent pay, $75,500, annual salary as assistant county attorney.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Tori had worked here quite successfully and then left for another county for a short time and is back. We're pleased to have her back. So roll call vote at this time.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes,
Slosson.
Yes.
motion's been carried. Item number B, Administrative Assistant County Attorney's Office, Rebecca West, start at 5/4/2021, full-time permanent pay, $16.50 an hour to fill vacancy. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would motion that we approve the hiring of Rebecca West starting on 5/4/2021, full-time permanent pay, $16.50 an hour as administrative assistant in the county attorney's office.
Is there?
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or? Okay, everyone understands what we're doing? Roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Okay, motion's carried. Down to C then is Jailer Sheriff's Department. Sean Mayday, start 5/3/2021, full-time permanent pay, $19.41. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would approve the hire of Sean Mayday, start 5/3/2021, full-time permanent pay, $19.41 an hour as jailer in Sheriff's Department. Roll call.
Need a second first.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
Thank you. Mr. Sheriff, do you have any comments you'd like to make at
Yes,
this
this
time?
is gonna be, Sean's gonna be a replacement for Jerry Overstay. And I'll jump ahead to item number D, for Caleb Sheets. Jim White will be replaced by Caleb if approved. And that will, leave one vacancy still open. And then we do have 2 additional retirements in the next 6 months that are tentative.
Oh, okay.
We're making progress, but it's slow.
You kind of get caught up and then you're back again, behind. Okay. Thank you.
So Sean is replacing,
Jerry Overstay.
okay.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Okay, motion's carried. Moving on then to D. This is Jailer Sheriff's Department. Caleb Sheets, start 5/3/2021, full-time permanent pay at $19.41 an hour. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the hiring of Caleb Sheets, starting at 5/23/21 as full-time permanent pay, $19.41, as jailer in the sheriff's department.
And I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. And our sheriff explained this was to fill in a vacancy also. So if there's no further questions, roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Okay, moving on then to E, Assistant Recorder, Passports, Auditor Recorder Department. And Yolanda Solis, start at 5/17/2021, full-time permanent pay, $17.50 per hour. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would approve the hire of Yolanda Solis, start 5/17/2021, full-time permanent, pay of $17.50 an hour as the Assistant Recorder in Passports, Auditor Recorder Department.
Second?
Mr. Chair, I will second that.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. And Nan, would you have any comments or?
Yes, this is a replacement for a retirement, and then we've kind of reorganized and shuffled people around, and so this left an opening in our folks that do passports and recordings. And so Yolanda will be located right there at the counter, at the auditor recorder's counter, as she's learning.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Okay. Motion's carried. Down to F, seasonal temp for Conservation Board. Trevor Stamp, start at 5/3/2021, seasonal temp, pay $10 an hour. End date is August 27th, 2021. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the hiring of Trevor Stamp, start date of 5/3/2021, seasonal temp, paid $10 an hour, end date August 27th, 2021, as seasonal temporary in Conservation Department.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. And Mike, are you on board this morning? Don't see him right now. Okay, this is done every year, and Mike needs extra help out in the conservation area there, and this is what this is meant to do. So if there's no further comments or questions, roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Moving on down then to G is another seasonal temp, Conservation Board, Aaron Eckley. Start at 5/3/2021, seasonal temp, pay is $10 an hour, end date is August 27, 2021. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the hire of Aaron Eckley, start 5/3/2021, seasonal pay at $10 an hour, end date August 27th, 2021, as seasonal temp in Conservation Board Department.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chair, I would second that.
Moved and seconded. Any other comments or questions? If not, roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion's carried. Okay, this is, the next one is item number 8, and this is the Delta Dental renewal contract, and it's for 1 year. And we amended that, and so it'll go from effective July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the Delta Dental contract renewal effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
Second?
I will second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Pretty straightforward. Roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosson,
Yes.
Motion's been carried. And then the next one is Avius Vision renewal for 2 years with selection of plan option. And we haven't talked about this too much for a year. Mary, back to the plan option. What did we have last year and what would you recommend for us this year? Same thing?
Yes, yeah, we've had no recommendations or questions from anyone to increase coverage.
Okay, so it would be the same option as we had. Help me out, what was the option? You know, you remember? Option number?
No.
Okay, we'll just say same as last year? Okay. Chair would entertain a motion to that effect then.
Mr. Chair, I would approve the Avisus Business Associate Agreement renewal effective July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2023 for plan option, and we don't know the plan option.
We're renewing as is.
Just renewing as is.
Yeah.
All right.
So if we,
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
very good. Been moved and seconded to renew our agreement. If there's no further questions,
It says that it's Plan 933. Would that be the?
I don't.
933?
Yeah, I think
information
it's
sent.
Plan 933
okay,
is the current plan.
okay. The main part of the motion is the renewal. So we should have all the information we need. Roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes,
Slosson,
Yes.
been moved and it's been approved. Thank you. Next one is secondary road equipment and discussion of possible action to approve the purchase of a used Cat 12 MA AWD motor grader from Ziegler Cat in Altoona, Iowa for $203,000. This unit will be paid from FY 2022 equipment budget, and the chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve purchase of the Cat 12M3 AWD motor grader from Ziegler Cat in Altoona, Iowa for $203,200. This unit will be paid for from the fiscal year 2022 equipment budget.
And I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Paul, are you still on?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me there?
Yeah. You bet. Sound good. Okay. Any comments here?
This unit is out of the same lease pool that came out of Duluth that we made a purchase last August, I think. And this one still remains, and it was the second one that we actually preferred to have, to acquire. It has about 2,100 hours on it. So even though it's a 2015, I think it is, it only has the hours that we would put on a machine in about a year and a half. So we've had good experience with the other one that we got out of this pool, and we thought as far as having another all-wheel drive motor grader out there, that we're trying to basically convert all of our motor graders for winter service. We're buying the all-wheel drive units, and that's why we decided to go with this one.
Okay. Any questions for Paul?
Paul, is this a toggle switch or the, what I wanted to say, as opposed to a steering wheel?
what this is a joystick operated, and we have a couple of operators that are just accustomed to that, and so it will move into the regular rotation with an operator who already has the joysticks, and then we'll do a trade on there's a trade on this deal on one of our old 140Gs, I think, our last 140G.
Okay. So you're okay with having a combination of steering wheel and joystick?
It's difficult. It's difficult. The only real place it's difficult is when we are trying to bring in part-time people, because a part-timer has likely operated an older machine that is equipped with a steering wheel, and in snow operations you don't want to just put somebody in a joystick operated machine for the first time. But as we go along with the years, there's more and more operators with joystick experience too. So it's kind of going back and forth. Cat for the longest time said we are not putting steering wheels back in machines, and the market, Deere kept the steering wheel as an option, and then the market also basically convinced Cat that they will offer a steering wheel option again. So it's hard to say where they're going to go.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
Okay, any other questions? If not, roll call vote, please.
Coniston,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosik,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion is carried. Moving on then to item number 11. This is a civil service request from Sheriff Joel Phillips. Discuss some possible action to approve leave of absence from civil service as deputy sheriff status, as sheriff to remain frozen at the current position until a successor is elected by the people and qualified while serving as appointed sheriff of Marshall County. The chair would entertain a motion on that, and then we'll have Joel talk about it.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion for a leave of absence from civil service as deputy status as sergeant to remain frozen at the current position until a successor is reelected by the people and qualified while serving as appointed sheriff of Marshall County.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
Joel, this may sound confusing to some people, but I understand what you're trying to do, if you'd like to talk about it for a little bit.
Yes, typically, when I moved from exempt, from a non-exempt employee to an exempt in an appointment position, which was chief jailer 2014, I requested a leave of absence. So then I would remain, my civil service deputy as sergeant would remain. And then I requested it as chief deputy. In that case, the reason for that is that if a new sheriff is elected, he has the option to make those appointments in his executive roles, which is chief jailer or chief deputy. And this is, since I'm appointed as sheriff, I am requesting that I have a leave of absence from the civil service as a sergeant until it is elected by the people for the people. And I would like to continue my public service for Marshall County if the people choose not to elect me as the next sheriff in November of 22. I enjoy, like I said, public service and working for Marshall County, and I'd like to continue that.
This just protects what you've worked with or worked for all these years as far as your retirement. Correct. And things. Yeah.
And that would not, and as the protected civil service, that would be as the rank of sergeant, that would not be in the roles that I've previously served as chief deputy or chief jailer. So it'd be basically a civil service deputy at the rank of sergeant. Okay.
So by doing this, this just keeps that option open. It doesn't put an end date on it. It's just open at this point.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. I hope to be elected by the residents of Marshall County to continue my service as sheriff. That's what my hope is.
Very good. Yep. Any further questions or comments?
I think it's extremely important that we do this so that it continually reassures the individuals that we have with years of experience that they feel free and willing to step up when we have vacancies and still have the protection in case there's a change later on by the voters. It's vitally important that we remain the continuity of the leadership that we have and the experience. And if we don't do this, it will It will not bode well, I don't believe.
Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Yes. Motion's carried. Thank you. The next one is item number 12. This is the County Weed Control Program for 2021-22 seasons. Discussion and possible action regarding the County Weed Control Program for 2021 and 2022 seasons. Todd, you want to start us out on this discussion?
Where we ended was, you wanted to know about our liability insurance. And right now, it's covered under our vehicle insurance, except the trailer part and trailering, it would be a $250, cost us $250 extra. That's all.
Okay. That covers bushes that accidentally die.
I'm not a lawyer that reads through this. It's under our liability, so yeah, and it's under, as they call it, poison and, chemicals, so.
Okay.
I would assume yes, because I was very specific in what we were doing with this.
Yeah.
Document right there.
I hadn't had a chance to read this yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it pollutants. But you can read the emails that Mr. Shomo, and his crew sent to me too right before it. So really, the cost isn't really going to be that bad.
No.
And the reason we need this type of coverage is?
Liability, in case we've had people in the past complain about what's happened to their yard.
Because we're doing it or because we're hiring?
We're
someone
going to be
do
doing it, or that's, if all goes right, we will be doing
That's
it.
what the discussion is kind of, yeah,
Yes.
right. And, but it's an important issue. If you become our weed
Person.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we need that liability.
Yes.
So, how do we want to handle this, gentlemen? We've talked about this for a while. Do you got any new things that, other than what we've already talked about in past meetings?
No, I don't think there's anything else that needs to be, unless you guys have questions.
The chair would be willing to have a motion here if one of you guys want to put forth a motion.
Have we discussed additional pay for this, additional duties?
I told you, and you guys disagreed with me, because I said, it doesn't really, it's part of my job now anyways. Yes, it's going to be a few, some extra hours. But I'm really trying to save the county money here.
Yeah, well, you'd still save us money, but
Yeah.
but you were telling us you were going to do it for nothing,
Yeah,
essentially, and I don't feel that's right.
and it's hard for me to put a price on something we don't know. I think the guy grossly overcharged us in the past, and I'm kind of being kind of grossly.
Well, and his timing was poor at times too, because
Yes.
if you don't spray them when they're little,
Yeah.
you fight it all year.
Yeah.
And what I think, Dave, and you alluded to this, there needs to be some sort of payment for whether we do it by the hour or what. If we say we're going to do it by the hour, we can come back at another time and put in what that amount is.
Right. I am, like I said,
I realize, yeah,
and my schedule now is a lot freer than it was a month ago, so.
Todd is a salaried employee.
He's a salaried employee. We
So we
can't,
need to keep it that way.
Yeah, yes.
And
Mr. Chairman,
nothing in the budget, in the salary lines for this, there's money in the weed spraying area. And that can be,
Transfer.
reappropriated at amendment time if you choose to do that.
yeah. And it would be taken from the money that we had put in for the commercial. Commercial. David, you are, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that Todd keep track of hours that are put into the weed spraying, and that we remunerate him at additional hourly expense at the end of the season when we have an idea what the hours put in are, and we handle it in a budget amendment in February, transferring the funds from the weed spraying program over to additional salary. Todd feels he can do this within his hourly structure now, and he is part-time. We just need to maintain that status and be careful, but we can always increase the remuneration per hour.
Dave, he is salaried, so we would need to make an adjustment to his salary, not an additional hourly.
Then we can make the adjustment to salary, but let's keep track of the hours, and we can adjust the salary at a later time.
I think we agree on that. Okay, so the chair would like a motion of some form here. You got your thinking cap on?
Well, didn't Dave just make a motion?
I think he did, but Dave needs to just amend
Do you
it
want me
to
to
be.
clarify that? Mr.
Like,
Chairman,
Go ahead.
I motion that we take action regarding the Will County Weed Control Program for 2021-2022 seasons, allowing our current employee, Todd, to do the spraying, that we keep track of the hours used and adjust his salary appropriately at the end of the season.
I'll second that.
Okay. Been moved and seconded. Sherry, do you have, I'll give you a second.
A motion to take action for the 2021-2022 weed season with Todd Athel doing the spraying, and for him to track his hours and adjust his salary at the end of the season.
Okay.
Second by, so just to clarify, does that mean you're not going to pay him until after the work is completed?
We can't make it retroactive.
No, we're not gonna make it retroactive.
No.
No.
I think,
You don't see me worrying over this.
Yeah.
what'd you say, Paul? I mean, Paul, Todd?
I said, you don't see me worrying over this either.
I know, but, Mary, and you were saying,
There's no timetable, exact timetable on this, so you can make the change at any time.
okay,
Have to be next February.
Yeah.
let's, what you're recommending then is we, if we decide to pass this and then come back and fine tune later, okay? Is that okay with the other supervisors? Okay, then at this point then, if we don't have any more discussion, roll call vote, please.
Thompson?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes,
Slosik?
Yes.
okay, motion has been carried. Thank you. Appreciate everyone's input on this. The next is the radio tower, update, discussion, and/or possible action regarding tower acquisition. And Steve and I spent some time yesterday with a farmer who's got a site that he is willing to allow us to put a tower there. We talked about all the issues. There's a lot of little issues. The big issues, we solved that in 5 minutes. We got little issues that the lawyer's gonna have to help us with. So we're really not in a position to have a motion today. We're not even going to put the farmer's name out yet until this thing is all buttoned up and everybody's needs are taken care of, and we're all happy about it. So, but shouldn't be too long. We're gonna Nan's gonna help us with this. We're gonna sit down and take a look at some possible ways of writing it up, and that's what we gotta do, and then take it before our attorney and make sure that everything's legal and that it can't be looked at in two different ways. So anyway, radio tower project is moving along then, and I think this will be a good possible end to this here. Just in a few days. Shouldn't take too long, would you say?
I would like to think that within the next month, everything would be done. And we can move on.
Yeah, because we really have to have this contract all signed.
Yes.
Before Raycom is going to do their soil probes.
Yeah, that's the way I understand.
And I don't think there's any problem with a soil probe, but you have to do that. When you put that thing up in the air, it's got to be there for a long time. And if we knew what technology is going to do in the next 15 years, it would be easier to write this thing, but we don't know. Technology can triple in a year's time, it seems like, and so we don't know what 15 years is going to bring. So, okay, moving on then. Hinkle Construction change order number 3 for $40,548.30. Discussion, possible action to approve. And Lucas, do you have some background on this?
I do. This is a number of, this is actually 7 or 8 small little changes that we needed to make at the annex. There were some load-bearing walls that needed to hold structural beams that needed rebuilt is what the bulk of this money is actually from. I don't have everything in front of me, but I think it was in the email I sent you guys on the request. So this is just something that we need to do on the back end to button up the contract changes so we can update pay apps and things like that.
If we put new walls over old problems, we got problems.
Exactly.
So we're gonna fix it up.
We did a lot of work with, the beam actually holds up the stair tower. So putting it on a crumbling old brick wall just wasn't really an option.
Yeah. How long will this take? Will this put us behind?
The work's already done.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just buttoning things up on the back end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Chair would entertain a motion then on item number 14.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the amended contract with Henkel Construction, approve the change order on number 3, $40,000, $548.30.
Mr. Chair, I would second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. If there's no further questions, roll call vote, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Moving on then to item number 15 is Marshall County COVID. Can I just say COVID-19?
Yeah.
Some days it comes past my tongue and then the next time I don't get it out. So Marshall County COVID-19 comprehensive leave policy and discussion and possible action. Nan, can you bring us up to date on this then?
Yes, this policy was created when the FFCRA was enacted by the federal government, and so that we could have a policy here that worked and was a little more specific to Marshall County. We have amended that a couple times in the past, and the federal side of this actually ended December 31st of 2020. You all chose to extend that, allowing for additional COVID sick hours of 80 hours for employees. And we have some travel. If they travel internationally, employees are supposed to quarantine following that. I am in an HR group that's called IPERLA, and it's made up of cities and counties throughout the state of Iowa. So it's, in my mind, local. Yes, there's some large city ones, but there's a lot of small ones similar to us. I found out on that call, there was only about 45 folks on there, but I've not heard anyone that's extending theirs past March 31st. Now, when we've kind of had discussions in the past, we kind of talked about when the immunizations are available to our employees and the public, that things should become and get safer. And so that's kind of where we're at. Immunizations are readily available here in Marshall County. I know personally I traveled out of county to get mine a little bit sooner, but it's easy to get them here in Marshall County now. So one of the shots, you've got to have a 4-week lag. The end of May should be able to get anyone who chooses to be immunized. The other thing about this is I've heard of some employees that may be traveling internationally and are probably not quarantining. So I feel like it's only my staff that's getting penalized for that in my department because I'm trying to follow the rules. And I think people just aren't thinking about it as much because the immunizations are out there, and it's just a little bit different than when we had this conversation late December. So we're kind of recommending, what I'm recommending is that we end the COVID-19 policy with that additional sick time and the travel restriction and having the quarantine ending May 31st so that people have plenty of time to get immunized. Because the CDC is still recommending masks be worn, and our public health nurse, Pat Thompson, is recommending that to continue. I think we need to continue that in, our, what we call the courthouse, which is Great Western Bank, 2nd floor for the public coming in, keeping the masks wearing until that changes, until the CDC changes their recommendations. It's really 2 separate things. The policy was for our employees. It's different than the public and what we're requiring for the public.
Will this be changing quarantine if it's outside the country travel or just within the country travel?
Currently, there is no quarantine inside the country. We changed that at the last writing. Right now, it's just if you're going out of country. And again, nobody's telling me anything, and I've heard of people going out of the country and not quarantining.
But I think to fly out of the country, though, you have to be vaccinated.
You have to be either vaccinated, and you also have to take, it's not necessarily vaccinated, but you always have to have a negative, rapid test, or they do these 24-hour ones, I think. And so they have to do it before they get on the plane to come back to the US too. They have to do it both directions. And both individuals that I know of that traveled had to do those tests before getting on the plane, both directions.
So your recommendation is just to, as far as our leave policy here, to end it May 31st?
Yes.
Just a simple.
It's over.
Okay. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we discontinue our comprehensive leave policy for coronavirus effective May 31st, 2021.
And I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. If there's any further discussion, if not, roll call vote, please.
Thompson?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Slosson?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, item number 16 is a land issue between Marshall County Conservation Board and Julie Pickard. And it's a request to purchase railroad property in Eden Township. And Julie, I think I saw you on board here.
Yes, can you hear me?
There you are.
Okay. So I have a quick presentation that kind of gives the history of what I'm talking about and a visual map of what's going on. Would you like to see it?
That'd be fine.
Okay. Okay, so first of all, we have the history of communication to date, and it starts back in 1972 with my dad and the railroad. So, I mean, you can read through it. He was given permission to use the railroad right away when they took a second set of tracks out. And by Willard Thursby back in 72. In 1990, Gary Brandenburg gave him permission to use the railroad right away for pasture and field access, since the tracks had been taken out and all the gravel taken off. In July, I met with the Marshall County Conservation Board to propose selling that property that we use all the time. And Mike Stegman confirmed that we did have an access agreement and recommends I check back in early October. November, I called. He was delayed because of the Dureco damage, which I understand. In January, I called. And on January 21st, he called, returned my call and said they would not sell the property. So, in question, the actual area, again, we used it. CMC Real Estate, which was the bankrupt railroad real estate company, gave Story County all of Marshall County's abandoned railroad properties due to monies that were owed to Story County. So in June of 1990, Story County sells to Marshall County all those properties for like $5,000. In 1990, Marshall County has possession of them again. And those are respectively, there's two properties respectively on the west and east side of my mom's property. She purchased her railroad property in 1989. In 1990, again, we were given permission to use a railroad right away by Gary Brandenburg. And the Story County website on the trail says it's not finished. So just so you know, the area in question is not finished. This is the map. Just to give you an idea, we have Durham Avenue.
Julie, we're not seeing the maps and stuff.
Not seeing this?
No,
Are you sharing?
I am. Have you seen anything?
No, not yet.
Oh my goodness. Back up. Hold on. Sorry. Hold on. That's the problem. See, I'm not technology. I'm not, there we go. There we go. I think. See it now?
There we go.
There we go. Good deal. Thank you. You have to have patience with me. It's been a long time since I've worked in the real world. Let's see here. So let's go here. So here's the map. Here's the map. We have Durham Avenue, 330, Gearhart, just to give you an idea. So here's Melbourne. We have, there's a road, so there's supposed to be a railroad right away here, but it's impassable. I tried to drive it the other day, couldn't do it. Jensen's, they own their place. This is the right of way that's in question, the blue. Here's my mom's in red, and this is the other right of way. So you can see it's divided. There's no way to get from here over by Melbourne over to Rhodes.
So Julie, if I may ask now,
Yes.
we see the right of way in blue. That means that right of way is being owned by the farmer. What's in
No.
red? Other way around?
Yeah, blue is owned by Marshall County.
Okay, Marshall County Conservation owns it.
Yes,
Okay. And the red then is owned by the farmer.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, any questions on this? So, go ahead.
Well, you've offered to buy that piece of property then, it sounds like maybe multiple times, is that true?
Just this one time, yeah, I'm back to the farm. We moved back in 2012 and we have cows that use the pasture and we have hay ground to the west of that. So we use this all the time, this road. And so we've had a lot of issues with people. I'll show you pictures, but we've had issues with gates being torn down. We maintain the road and I'll go through all this, but yes, I have asked to buy this. We haven't even discussed price. I just want to start the discussion. That's all I want, because there's no way, my mom will not give up that land. We have animals on it. And we have 4 generations here on the farm. It's not going anywhere. So, I mean, I don't know how you're going to get around it, but you're not going through that pasture. And it would be really helpful for us to have access to that railroad right away in blue so that we can fence it, take care of it, create a new space. So let me go on a little bit further. So that's the place in question right here in the circle. 7.91 acres of railroad right away. And there's some problems back here, and county probably isn't even aware of it because I don't think anybody's been down there. Maybe they have, I don't know. So this is what we do on an annual basis. And this is because we use it every day. We do the road maintenance. We take care of all the noxious weeds so the county doesn't have to. We took care of all the tree damage, and there was a lot of tree damage from the storms in the past 2 years. And we take care of all the trash removal. We do that because we use it. It's our benefit to take care of that. Problem is that when it gets rainy, there's some mud runners that like to run up and down that road, and they ruin everything that we've just paid money to do because we don't have the equipment to do that. We have to use bulldozers and things. So this is the problem that people probably aren't aware of. There's no fence on either side of this property, on the north or the south side. The cows are getting out into our crop ground and ruining the crop. And they're not our cows, they're neighbors' cows. There's old phone cable lines that are strung the entire length of that railroad right away. Somebody's going to get hurt because, as you can see, there's a picture there with the cable strung down. They run those 4-wheelers and stuff through there. Somebody's going to get hurt. There's culverts that are failing. And then we have trespassers that like to ruin gates, as you can see there. Are there any questions on this?
Were there gates at the very east end to keep people out at one time, or does
No, because it's public property.
Also, so you were given access, but then because it's public property, everyone has access?
Right. That's my understanding.
I would think that could be remedied somehow.
But this is the problem, though, is that there's no fencing around where the gate would be. So they would just go through our crops, which.
Yeah, I understand.
All right. So this is my goal. Currently, we use it. It's an easement by necessity. We use it every day. My goal is to purchase a property. It's adjacent to my mom's. We would provide permanent easement for the adjacent landowners, which is the Higgins Trust, so that the renters have access to their fields and pastures. And we would just create a new green space and loafing area for our cattle. We would be in charge. We would take care of all the fencing. We would take care of the cabling. We would take care of the culverts that are failing. And because there would be fencing all the way around, there wouldn't be access anymore on 3 sides.
Can I ask, did the conservation board or our conservation director give any reason why they were not interested in selling this?
No. Now, mind you, you guys have owned this since 1990. I think the Heart of Iowa Nature Trail went in like 2000 or so. So it's been 21 years of not being developed.
Well, it's kind of the classic example of a bridge to nowhere. You can't get from point A to point B because of the multiple ownerships, and it's not going to be developed.
Right. And I know in the Heart of Iowa, the board did ask if they could have easement through our pasture. And that was an absolute no. And they didn't understand why. I said, we have cows and bulls out there. And it's not so much to protect people, it's to protect our animals. Because people are weird. You know, they'll do things to animals that you would never see anywhere else. So it's like, no, you're not going to have easement through a pasture. I mean, the liability alone would just be horrible. So I just need to know what the next step is. I've been working on this since July of last year. I've been very patient. I'm used to, I will tell you, I'm used to getting things done, and there's always a way to get things done. So
Have you given this presentation to the conservation board?
no, because the door was shut. It's not open for discussion.
Okay.
Julie, if they absolutely refuse to not do anything with this property and not sell this property to you, what's the next best thing that would be satisfactory to you? Are you wanting them to come in and do some fencing, or just tell me what you're thinking?
Well, let me go back to the other slide here. They need to address all these issues. Now,
Okay.
there's 2,300 feet of fencing on both sides. So it's about a mile, about a mile. Fencing right now is about $5 a foot for woven wire fence with 2 barbs. So there you go. They need to take care of the culverts that are failing and clean up the cables so somebody doesn't get hurt.
Do we have Mike on the line this morning?
He wasn't earlier,
I don't think
Dave.
so.
When we started our conversation, he was not on.
We've got our conservation director not on this meeting.
No.
I'd sure like to find a way to bring these two parties together for a resolution of this issue.
Yeah, I would too. We need to be good neighbors here, and I don't think we are. We're not even close at this point. They've got to take some responsibility here on this. And I don't think we have any say in this matter. Am I correct?
From what I understand, no, it's the conservation board.
Yep.
Our only part in the game would be to help facilitate a meeting. They have to make the decision.
I'm all about that. That would be great.
You know, the county appoints the directors, it pays the salaries, and the rest of their monies for conservation come from outside agencies. This is one of the strange things. We have 3 different boards like this within the county. We've got the Public Health Board, we've got the Veterans Affairs Board, and we have the Conservation Board that technically run the departments somewhat with our discretion.
So this is my question. So as an example, so you have a mud runner that's out there going up and down the road like crazy, and they hit one of those cables. Who gets sued? Marshall County Conservation Board or the county?
Good question.
It would be the county.
Somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I do want to add, Tammy Krog just emailed me. Mike is actually meeting with FEMA for his site inspection this morning.
Okay.
So that's why because he's usually on the meeting.
Well, I had
so.
talked to Mike last week, and he thought he was gonna be on board.
He didn't know, we didn't know this until like last Thursday when the gentleman was coming.
When FEMA was going to do it. Okay, very good.
Why don't we leave this at this? This has been a very good presentation. You've brought some good good discussion points to the table. And why don't we try and facilitate bringing the two parties together?
I'd
for a
agree with that.
face-to-face meeting.
Yeah. Okay, at this point, this was for discussion only. And, well, it says possible action, but our action will be to, as Dave suggested, try to bring people together and help facilitate a meeting. So that we will do, Julie.
Thank
And,
you.
appreciate your time and your effort here on this. And we'll get at this thing and get back to you.
Okay, so what kind of time frame are we talking about?
At least 2
Month?
weeks.
2 weeks? Okay. That helps.
Well, that's going to be up to their board. We can't make that determination.
When they're gonna get back to me? No, when they're gonna get back to me?
We'll try and get them to the table, but we can't force it.
Okay,
The next Marshall County Conservation Board meeting is May 10th.
okay. I would love to present this to them because I don't think they know exactly what they're dealing with. They just know that they have land, but they don't know that it's landlocked. Like you said, the road to nowhere.
Yeah, they need to see this, Julie, this is important, so.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your presentation.
Yep,
And,
I will wait to hear from you guys and when we can get together with them.
thank you.
All right, thanks.
Moving on then to item number 17, is public forum. It's a time set aside for public to make comments on discussions of county business other than those listed on this agenda. No action will be taken on any of these topics brought up at the public forum. So anyone here or anyone on the Zoom who wishes to have something to say, step forward.
Or forever hold your peace,
Or come back next time.
at least for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Item number 18 is adjournment. The next regular session is May 11th, 2021 at 9:05 a.m. All business to be acted upon at that session will be submitted. And to the county attorney, auditor, I've said that twice today, I'm sorry, to the county auditor and recorder's office on the Board of Supervisors office or the Board of Supervisors office, Wednesday, May 5th, 2021, 12 a.m. There being no further business to come before the board, the meeting is adjourned at 10:10 a.m. Thank you, everyone, for participating.